We talk about women empowerment. We talk about women enjoying their freedom, women achieving their freedom, and women following their dreams. Today's guest is a woman who has actually followed her dreams, and she has just begun to make her dreams into a reality. So, today's guest's name is Amrutha, and she's a sailor with the help of her husband who works in the merchant navy. She has learned to sail and she is traveling around the world. Recently, she's done a 19 days excruciating sail on a 15-meter yacht from Kochi to Africa. It sounds very, 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 very difficult, but I wanted to hear her story, her journey through her words. So today's podcast is going to be in English. I'm so sorry, but our guest does not speak Telugu, so we are speaking in English. We are speaking in simple English so that everybody could understand. But please do listen to this podcast because this is going to be really inspiring for all the women out there. And yes, so today's flip side is going to bring out the flip side in you by empowering you and inspiring you to take risks and to follow your dreams no matter how difficult they are. So let's head to the podcast. Hi Amrutha, welcome to the flip side.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Are you nervous?
A little bit.
Ari, don't be nervous because it's just like, two friends having coffee and then with a mic and with 3 cameras here. But just don't mind those.
Yeah.
It's just concentrate on me, I'll concentrate on you, and then we'll just have a nice time.
Yes.
Okay. But this is the first time that I've thanked Instagram for showing me a profile that's so unique.
Okay.
And then, because if not for Instagram, I wouldn't have, had a chance to
get to
know that, there's a sailor, there's a woman who sails and who's really brave in all the ways that one can think of. And I'm actually very, very happy. I'm glad that I came across your profile.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bhargavi. And yeah, it's very great. I don't know, I can't talk when the camera is on.
That's fine. You can just talk to me. Just don't concentrate on the cameras. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Like when I got your call, I was like, I had no idea this person exists, and I was like, oh, okay, I can think about a podcast.
Yeah.
And then I called you. We had a good talk over the phone, and we could instantly connect. And I was like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I think one of those calls, when I call a guest, it doesn't happen always where, you connect instantly, but then I felt really comfortable talking to you.
Yeah, I remember.
And even today also my mission is to make you really comfortable by the end of the podcast at least.
Yes. Let's see. We were talking very comfortably before all the lights and everything. Everything is on and I'm like, okay.
But usually what happens is any guest who's not used to cameras and lights, they, 10 minutes into the podcast, they tend to warm up. Yeah, so
it'll happen.
So Amrutha, I want to know your story.
Okay.
The main thing that has attracted me to your profile was that you sail, and I don't see a lot of women sailors, or is there a word for women who sail?
Sailor.
Yeah. It's just sailor. So sail, I haven't seen many, women who sail.
Okay.
And I'm really intrigued. I want to know your journey. How did you come across, how did you start this whole journey? Because sailing community, as we spoke on the phone the other day, it's not huge in India, at least in South India. I have not heard of a sailing community here. Yes, so please go on.
All right. I think I should thank my dear husband for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the first time I think I don't generally say husband. It's always been boyfriend.
Okay.
So yeah, Srinath is the one who got me introduced to the sea life.
Okay.
So he works in merchant navy.
Okay.
And we've been together since my school days, like my class 11, I should say. I know him. We've been friends for a very long time. So all his stories, all our conversation, majority of them has been about sea life, how is life at sea is, and it has always, I had the the thing, like, what is it? Like, how does it work? And through his stories, I was always attracted to the ocean.
Okay.
So whenever he is also such a huge sea fan. I don't know if professionally. I'm not talking professionally. Now the merchant navy is pretty tough, and you don't enjoy sea much when you are working. But generally, he's a very sea person.
Okay.
Who loves to be at sea. Like whoever, like most of them, they'll be like, oh, we were at sea, we don't want to go to the beach again, we'll go somewhere else. But Srinath and I, we are like, he's back from the ocean, we meet up, we go to next beach or sea destinations. We are always surrounded by sea, and his stories inspired me, and that's when we started, finding our passion and interest. Since we know each other from childhood, our interest and passion grew together. We grew up together sharing our interests. So we both are into sports, and I love playing whatever if I don't know the sport, I'll try that. I love playing games and everything. He also he loves football, I love football, both loves basketball. So we've been always active. And then the sea life, the closest I could get was the beach, and from the beach was surfing. He introduced me to surfing when I was in college. We both went to Pondi. We did our first surfing lessons, and then I loved it. I was like, oh, what is it? And during that time, I didn't know swimming. I knew swimming, but not a good swimmer. But Srinath told me, like, there is nothing like you. It's either yes or no. Do you know swimming? It should be yes or no. It shouldn't be like, I know little. I know. It shouldn't be like that. So then the next summer vacation, like whenever I had break, there is something called kolam in Kerala. Kolam. That's like it's like a pool, like naturally like built with stones. In temples you find it.
We call it Koneru. Kada? Temples lo. Koneru antam. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I went to Kolam, and every day I used to go jump, learn swimming. Like, and I think I was 20 then. I learned swimming then at that age. So if you really love and you're determined, you can do it at any age. Some people are like, I don't know swimming. Like, do you think I can surf? I'm like, you can learn it now. You can surf even without knowing swimming. Yeah, but like if you love water, learn swimming. You're gonna never regret. Swimming is like, everyone should know swimming, I should say. So I learned swimming when I was 20, and I started swimming regularly. I started going to pools, and then after that, I got more comfortable surfing. And then later, what do I say? From surfing, I slowly, we both started talking about sailboats. So when from sitting on a ship, when he sees some sailboats or anything crossing, he always wondered like how the life would be in it. So he started telling how good it would be inside that, or how it would be. We don't know if it's good or bad, but we wanted to explore that. He told me, then I also found it fascinating. So we started researching about it way back then, and then and finally because in India, as you said, there are no sailors. Like, we can't take any mentor, or we can't follow anyone's path. And we didn't know I'm not sure if there are many, but I couldn't find much. So always the reference was some foreigner guy or lady or whoever. So we had to go through their path, and we used to download all the, whatever we could get. We had to pay. I remember I paid for some guy he sells sailboats. Like,
he sells?
Yeah. So he's like, he makes connections like property dealers. So he's like, he helps others to sell sailboats. So he had a page, and then he had what do you say?
This is an Indian?
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
So foreigner guy.
Yeah.
So I bought his book.
An
online book, and then we started reading about it, the process of how to be a sailor. So we read that, and we got to know the courses which we have to take. And we were not sure, like, because the sailing courses are very costly. So we were like, oh my God, like, if we have to do these things, we have to start saving. And then we found out the courses which you have to do to learn the basics of sailing. And then, that's how. And we, after dating for so long, we decided to get married. So that we can sail together.
At what age?
I was 24.
Okay.
I think I was 23 like
23 and a half, 23-ish.
Yes.
Okay.
Right after my graduation.
Okay.
So we were like, okay, let's do it and we can sail together.
Okay.
Also, before all this, I was fascinated about ships. Like I wanted to know how ship life works.
Right.
So I was prepared to sail with him. So I think I started gaining followers on Instagram through my ship videos.
Right.
Yeah, so most of my followers are ship enthusiasts or whoever wants to join Merchant Navy or the sailors.
But I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'll tell you why. Because we don't see a lot of, as I said before, you don't see a lot of, women who sail, who are sailing as we speak, or, who are interested in sailing, who want to learn. It is somehow very, very empowering to know that, something like this exists in India.
Yeah.
And also that, to see live examples like you. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, continue.
All right. In Merchant Navy, I think there are many sailors' wife. Officers' family, some of the companies allow their families on board.
Okay.
So there are many sailors. I think they are not posting. The sailor wives are not posting much. There are sailor wives who are sailing with their husbands, but when they have kids or when they have office and work, it's not easy. So I hope you know I'm an architect.
Yes, you told me.
So I'm an architect, and I used to work online whenever I sail with him. I used to work online, and it was a bit of a tough task. Now there are satellites, there are VSAT, and which has given good internet. Sorry, not VSAT, Starlink.
Okay.
Now the internet is much faster, but our ships had like very slow internet, and I had to manage with 150 to 300 MB a week.
A week?
Okay. So I used to mail, and they were like, I had good LAN support. Like I had some junior architects who used to help me. So whenever I reached land, I used to like crave for internet, and then I work, and also I had to post.
Okay.
So yeah. There are many lady sailors, not lady sailors, sailors' wife who sail. But still, as I said, families and things, there are restrictions for them to sail. But there are some, I know, after having the account, I got to know there are ladies, the wives sailing.
Okay.
And there are many wives approaching me, like, how can we sail and which company are you sailing? So during Corona, I couldn't sail. So they were not allowing wives. And then I was waiting. Then 2020, we wanted to learn the sailboat sailing.
Okay, so is it different from the merchant?
It is totally different. So my Instagram is quite confusing for many people.
Why?
Because they see me on ships, then suddenly I'm on sailboats.
Yeah.
So they are like, okay, what is she? What is she doing? And also she sometimes says she's an architect and she runs a company, and I'm like, they are like, what are you really doing? And how are you managing all these if you're doing all of it together?
Yeah.
So many are confused.
Okay.
So I should say Merchant Navy is my husband's profession.
Right.
My profession is architect. Right. I am an architect and I run a company.
Right.
So in Merchant Navy, officers, most of the companies allow officers' family on board. So I sail with him, and I've sailed twice.
Okay.
So his last 2 contracts I've been with him.
Okay.
And then sailboat is our passion.
Right.
So that's like something which we do together.
Okay.
We both took our sailing licenses from Thailand. We did our IYT bareboat skipper course, and we learned basic sailing, and we took some experiences from there.
So there's no sailing school or
in India?
In India?
So I did my first experience of sailing from Mumbai Harbour. There are sailing schools in Goa. There are sailing schools in Mumbai. I think even in Rameshwaram now. Mm-hmm. But those are not well established. Like you get to learn from the small dinghy. There's
what's a dinghy?
Dinghy. Dinghy is like a small tiny boat.
Okay.
Like you might have seen if you have been to Mumbai Harbour, like near Gateway of India.
Okay.
Like you see tiny boats.
Tiny as in how tiny? How many people can that fit?
4 to 5 people.
Okay.
Like it's like you don't have roof or anything. It's just like just open boat with
right.
sails.
Okay. Yeah.
Fishermen and all
Yeah.
go maybe I don't see even fishermen sailing with sails.
No, but I know what you're talking about. I understood.
Like it's open. It's like normal. You might have seen my videos. Like you sit outside, like you get all the sun and everything while you're.
Right.
I started from Mumbai on this tiny dinghy sailing.
Okay.
And there are schools, whoever wants to learn sailing, basic sailing, I would suggest them to do it from India, so that they know there are two sails, how you adjust the sheets, how you take it up, take it down, and there are so many terms which if I say, people won't understand. So there are the terminologies, like if you want to go like starboard side is the right side, port side is the left side. We don't say go to the right side, we say starboard side, go port side. So there are many terms related to the boat, the shape of the boat. Front is like aft, and like you say aft, and like what do you say, like center board of a boat. Many terms which are related to this.
I've heard the port side and aft or something in Friends, when you watch Friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
When Rachel is teaching Joey to sail.
Yes.
That's where I heard these terms, but other than that I don't know much about it. Yeah.
So whoever, like there are many people who wanted to, there are many people who are approaching me like to know how to learn sailing. So I would suggest them to go to all these small schools in India, learn the basic dinghy sailing, so that they know how it works. Like they'll know the basic terms, they know how to handle a boat. There are small laser boats and other boats available here. 1 month we started sailing from for 19 days. So we were there in Kochi for a few days, and then we started sailing. And then we were in Djibouti for a few days. So total
Djibouti is in Africa. Right.
Yes, that's another thing which you may ask. So that 19 days sailing, we stock our food for those 19 days. We were 8 people on board.
Got it.
We were 7 people on board. So for the 7 people, we will buy all the fruits, veggies and everything, and it has to stay longer. We don't have much larger fridge or anything like in ships. Ship has cold storages. In boats, we don't have much. We have tiny cold storages, but there you'll have to store your meat or whatever can go bad, especially meat.
Perishable goods.
Yes. The rest, veggies and fruits, are all outside. There are so many storages and everything.
So like you're taught about all this when you...
So from Mumbai sailing, I learned the basic sailing, all the terms and how to go windward direction or basically the terms. So I learned that, and then I went to Thailand. So we went. Me and Srinath couldn't join the Mumbai sailing as he was on merchant ship. So I did, because he was like, because it was getting delayed after Corona, something or the other. Because also the season depends. For sailing, you need to have good winds, and monsoon season we cannot sail.
Even to learn?
Yes, even to learn. Like there won't be any boats in the water, because it's very choppy. It's when it's windy, like you cannot predict, and the rains and everything. Especially for beginners, there'll be a problem. So there's a season. So only during that season window you can learn sailing. So whenever he's back from sea, then it's monsoon. So he like, now we can't sail.
So you had to go alone.
Yeah. So he was like, I signed off from the ship just before the monsoon. So I was like, we only have few more days left, and he was not getting sign off. There was some delay. The ship was not reaching the port or something. So there was some delay for him. So he was like, you go learn. At least you will know the basics. So my first was like, I did a solo trip to Mumbai. So I went.
I've seen
there.
that reel also.
Yeah. So in India, as you asked, there are certain certifications internationally valid. So I've not come across any schools in India which offer the international licenses.
So where you're eligible to cross the
oceans, or we have the licenses as like skipper. Like there are like IYT, it's International Yacht Training Association. Then there is ASA, recognized by US. And then there is RYA.
These are like universities?
No, these are like sailing communities. Have you done diving? So like
Scuba diving.
scuba diving, PADI gives recognition. Like, if you have the PADI certificate, you can dive anywhere.
Okay.
Like, you are internationally certified to dive anywhere with your PADI certificates. Like, if you have certain certificates from PADI, like, you're recognized internationally.
Okay.
So these are the associations or the places which give you the recognition, like you are a sailor, that you have done courses under us.
Okay.
So you are eligible to
Sail across this ocean.
or yes,
Okay,
you have
got
done
it.
this course, so you get licenses for that.
Okay.
So we had to go through, like, we didn't know about these,
Right.
so we read a lot about it, and finally we thought IYT is good, and we did that. But now realizing RY is good in some countries.
Okay.
But still, yeah, IYT is good.
Okay.
So we did from Thailand.
Right.
And we took a course that it was like zero to hero
What's that?
course.
Okay.
So basically it's like you learn from nothing. Like, you learn, they teach you the basics, like, from everything. But these courses are costly.
Amrutha, tell me this. Do sailors need to know swimming to learn sailing?
Yes.
They do? Okay.
It'll be good if they know.
If they know?
Yes, definitely. Because we call it man overboard.
Okay.
So if by accidentally if someone falls, like, if he knows basic sailing, then he wouldn't panic the first thing. And fall man overboard while sailing is too risky. Like, in sea, like, you can go missing, like, in a second. Because you don't know, you're going so fast, and there is current, it's drifting you somewhere else.
Okay.
And then, like, literally, if someone spot you, it's good. Like, that person should, like, keep looking at you and just keep pointing at you, so that you don't go, like, missing.
yeah.
But rare. But then if accidentally it happens, and if you know swimming, it'll be good, like, for you to survive, to float.
Okay.
Then you don't panic.
Okay.
Because we usually, the best part of sailing is, like, you take a dip in between. You have very limited water and everything. So you take water by diving and swimming around.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your first sailing experience like?
My first sailing experience, in the sense, I have two sailing experience. One on tall ships, like big ships, merchant navy ships. Second one is on from Mumbai, and then Thailand, and then these.
Right.
So the first at sea, the life at sea started with ships. I was like a tiny kid, maybe visiting Jurassic Park or something.
Okay.
Because the ships are huge. Especially the ship which I sailed was 250 meters.
Whoa.
So that's like, almost, it's very big. It was huge.
Right.
And I was there, and I was like, oh, whoa. It was like a dream come true for me, because we've been talking about this for a very long time, me and Srinath, when I was like, this is how it is. And so for me, finally being on a ship, it felt so dreamy.
Okay.
And initially I was like, just getting used to everything. It's like it's like a stranded island.
Okay.
You have everything inside, basics.
Okay.
To survive, you have everything.
Okay.
You don't have luxury, maybe.
Maybe not like the ones on the cruise and every holiday cruise and all. No,
not at all. So you don't have all those, like, luxury. Like, there's a
Okay.
particular menu which you have to stick on. Like, you can decide the menu and all, but there are certain menus which you have to eat according to that, and then there is certain timings. Like, you get food from this time to this time, and then 12 morning, like 7 to 8, then 12 to 1, then 6 to 7 dinner. So you have to follow the timeline.
Okay.
But you become very, very orderly person, I would say. My first ship experience was like, it was new, fresh, so good for me.
Okay.
Oh, the ship life is very hectic, as I say.
Right.
But for families, I think it's like a vacation for us, because we get food, we get everything we want. We just have to sit.
Everything, but no entertainment as to your only self-entertainment. Like, you have to.
As I said, I am into sports. We have evenings table tennis.
Okay.
So we, like, as soon as the engineers get off at 5 p.m, so they'll be in the TT room.
Okay.
I was lucky to sail with all my the seafarers who sail with me.
Okay.
They were so friendly, and I'm so grateful to have sailed with them.
Okay.
Because they were all into sports. They all played TT in the evenings.
I
They
think,
all
I think that's what they do on a daily basis also, no? Because they need to
entertain
they
themselves.
have to entertain
Yes.
themselves. Yeah.
So, but not everyone, like from the stories I've heard, not everyone is interested in TT. Like but at least they try. Some people come forward and play that. And Sundays are all about cricket.
Okay.
And first shift we had a lot of volleyball games. So Sundays instead of cricket, we played volleyball. I think those videos on my Instagram and all these.
I've seen
playing,
that.
but those are the best moments. Like we wait for that.
Okay.
We cherished even those small 2 to 3 hours. We
Okay.
remember that forever.
Okay.
Like the gang, the fun we had. So sea life taught me to cherish even the small moments we have in life. Like you crave for everything. Everything is good for you then. Like even if you get some, we get biryanis on Sunday on board.
Okay.
Especially when you have Indian crew, we get biryanis.
Okay.
I don't know. I've become huge fan of biryanis. Like you crave for that Sunday biryani.
Okay.
You crave for that evening games,
Right.
and then to meet people, to greet people, and when you reach land, oh my God, there is some happiness. Like when you know that you are away for so long, and you're approaching on this day, and we count on that day. We are like, oh, we are reaching land, and finally, when you approach, and then you touch land, there is immense happiness.
Okay.
And the sea life taught me to love the land more, to appreciate everything we have got. So yeah, that's what sea life has taught me. And the first experience was this. The ship gave me the first sea experience.
Right. So when you sailed for the first time, like when you actually navigated on your own, how was that experience? Was it crazy? What was it like? Crazy, scary?
So yes, it was.
Okay.
So basically, we always sitting in land and admiring or dreaming about it was way different from when I was in the boat.
Okay.
So my first sailing experience from Mumbai was okay. Like just learn, but still I was a little dizzy with the rolling and pitching. Like you keep moving around. But when I stepped onto land, I was feeling little not so good. Okay. But that was okay. But then I went to Thailand.
Okay.
The first few days sailing was okay. But then one day we had night sailing.
Okay.
And then we were going to another island nearby. We sailed. When I'm outside, I'm fine.
Okay.
But when we have to pee, we have to go inside to the washroom.
Okay.
The tiny washroom inside, very small. But the moment I went inside, I'm like, shit, I have to get out somehow. That's
Why?
like we feel claustrophobic. Like it's moving. Like you're inside a chamber, and it's like doing this to you.
Okay.
And I'm like, shit, I can't pee properly. I have to get out.
Okay.
And I went out and started, okay, I'm fine. Then he's like, no, you'll get used to it. Is what the captain said. Then the next time I wanted to pee, I'm like, I don't want to go down. That's the first experience. And that night, we got hit by a squall. Like there was like heavy rain happening, and we expected not to run into the squall, but
what is this called? I'm sorry.
Like heavy rain and storm and everything.
Okay.
Like if you run into that, you are on sails.
Okay.
Like the wind, the rain, everything can affect you. Like the direction and everything.
Right.
So you don't know from where the wind is blowing and everything. So it can, it can
So
be
you got hit by a squall, as in like there was like unexpected.
Yes, like we had to head back to our island. Like we started sailing from Pattaya. Okay. So the area we are reaching back to that place. So there's a particular direction which you have to go. So we saw the rain clouds and everything. We wanted to sail away from it, start sailing, but it came faster than we expected.
Okay.
So then we were in between the wind, the rain, and the squall. So what happened was, the moment I was the one who was steering. Okay. So I was steering, and with the sails, what happens is it can round off. Like if you don't do the adjusting, the winds and we call it the jib sheet and the mainsail. Okay. So not jib sheet, the mainsail and the jib sail. Okay. So what happened was, like we couldn't control the everything together. So it was me, Srinath, my husband, and another sailor. Our captain was sleeping inside. He was like, you manage it yourself because it's been many days we've been sailing. Okay. Like you learn it yourself. We are beginners.
Right.
We don't know how to manage all this together.
Yeah.
So we are like, will the ship cross? Will we hit that during the squall? And so many questions in our head. And I'm steering. So I'm doing a little steering, and the boat is going around. Like it turned all the way around, and the sails start,
Yeah.
moving so badly, and it can even tear the sails. It's too costly, and we are like, okay, I can't bear that. Even if we tear, then we have to do the repairing. More than that, I'm scared of my life. Like, when the boat is turning around, we are like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Then Srinath is like, go, don't give much steering. So the captain is saying something, Srinath is saying something. The other guy is like, do this. So many inputs, and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you do it. But like, no, we have to control the sails. Now you do the steering. Right. So I'm doing little, and it's going too much.
Okay.
And that day I was rethinking of all my decisions I've taken.
Okay.
And then after that, it became so bad. The captain took over the steering because it was very bad. I was like, I think it's not that bad for the experienced sailors, but for me, it was new, and I didn't know how to handle the whole situation. And I was sitting there and rethinking of all my decisions, like, why am I here? What am I doing? Is it okay? Like,
right.
And I was also a little seasick. Many people asked me, like, is it normal? How did you get into another country? Like, can you cross borders like that? How is the question? Like, everyone is asking us, and it's very normal around the world, not in India, but there are so many Europeans and Americans, and they own their own sailboats. They sail around the world, or maybe their own inland waters. Sailing is very normal culture for them.
Okay. Yeah.
So
not as common in India though.
Not at all.
Which is why there are so many questions also around it.
We are a peninsula. We have 3 sides covered with water, and we are not using it. And that's the saddest part. I'm like, there should be more water sports activities around.
Right.
Like, people should get into surfing, kayaking, SUPs, stand-up paddle, sailing, everything, like diving, do whatever you can do.
Right.
Because there's so many possibilities and opportunities.
Can you tell me what is the scariest part of sailing?
Scariest part of sailing, I would say, was night sailing for me always.
Okay.
Daytime, everyone is around you. When you have a doubt, you have someone. But at night, especially, the courses which I did, it was a course. It was not like real sailing. Like, there is someone to assist you. If you need help, there are people to help you. But when I did the ocean crossing from India to Africa, you do it. We are hired, like we sail as a crew for sailing by ourselves. We should know everything.
Okay.
So during that sailing, there's a certain time we have, like watching. We say night watches.
Okay.
So we have certain time where we keep our watch.
Okay.
So I'll be steering, and I'll be taking the control of the boat, and everyone else will be sleeping.
Oh, you take turns.
Yes, we take turns.
Okay.
So during that time, I have to wake up. I have to relieve one of the crew member, and I'll take over. And then I'll look around and take watches and do whatever, and everyone will be sleeping. And after my watch, I'll have to wake up Srinath, and he'll take the watch. So that's how it works. And during that time, you have the whole sea and the whole time for you to think, overthink, and do whatever.
Right.
Like, you keep observing. You listen to every small sound, and if anything is going wrong, if you hear something, let's say when the wind direction is changing, you have to do it all alone. Like, you can't suddenly go get someone and then ask them to do it for you.
Right.
So that is one scary part. And when I go front, if I hear some sound, so we can't like go in front. Like, what if we fall overboard? So there's so many risks related to it. So we have to be careful when you handle certain things. But night sailing is the scariest part for me personally.
Okay. But pirates exist?
Yes.
What do they want now?
So basically, these are very poor countries.
Somalia
and all.
Economically backward.
Yes. So they're economically backward. Yeah, that's the word. So these countries, these people they even rob for money. They actually do the piracy for money.
Okay.
So they hijack the ship and demand for money, and then that's what they usually do. But they only do it for large ships.
Okay.
So because they have huge commercial value,
Right.
and they have more members in it,
Yeah.
and also especially like
More goods also.
goods, everything, like they are carrying so much, so many tons of things, and it has huge commercial value and more name also, like when if media attention and everything.
Right.
So if they hijack a boat, they don't get much, but there are still robberies happening, so that is also called as piracy. So they can just just come on board and take all the belongings, like even your all the systems and everything that you can navigate to, they can just steal and take it and go.
Okay.
So those are the things which you're worried. So that sailing, I didn't carry any of my laptops or anything. I literally just had my phone
Okay.
and my GoPro.
So how was that experience, that passage?
So there was no cases reported so far. There have been robberies and everything happening, but no piracy attacks or anything was not reported for sailboats.
Okay.
So we were like, okay, maybe might not happen for us, but what if? That is the question which always, what if something happens? What if? And also in the Yemen coast, due to these drone attacks and all, they won't attack our boat. They are looking for, Europeans and other ships, but what if the nearest ship they're attacking is like we are very close to it? We never know, but it's not happening. But still, there are so many what ifs in our head.
Right.
Like, what if something can go wrong? Like, so at night we are more vigilant. Like when we hear some noise, like what is it? Is it some drone or something? Like I am like I was like kept overthinking, like what is it?
Okay.
So and one night there was like huge noise. I was so scared. I was like, should I wake up someone? I'm like, what is it? And then I silently listened and I heard whales.
Whales. Okay.
Whoa, that was so dreamy. Like it's a dream for every sailor, like everyone who loves ocean to witness whale and dolphins and all huge creatures.
Right.
But the sound of whales they are like, oh my god, I don't know how to explain, but these are the moments we sail for.
Okay. Is that scary? Like that sound, like in the middle of the night, especially?
I didn't know what it is. I was new to it.
But once you realize that it's a whale, was it still scary? Because you never know what the whale is looking for. It might just topple your boat and then go. Does that happen? Is there a chance for that?
Maybe, but no, I never thought in that angle.
Okay.
But no, that was quite far.
Okay.
And I could hear like the water spraying and everything after listening, quite carefully. But that moment, what I would say is more like, it's like chanting Om or something. Like, ooh, there's a certain sound. I mean, if you Google it, YouTube it, you will listen to that sound, and it's very nice.
Probably a very deep sound.
Very deep. It has some calling to it. It's like, I don't know what it is, but for me, it's like, whoa. I don't know what to say, but something which I want to do more whale watching and all. Actually, in our route which we went, if we had sailed few more days before, there was like the season for the whales to cross.
Okay.
We actually missed it, but we did spot one.
Okay. That's so nice.
Yeah.
And do they teach you like basic survival skills if in case you get lost or if in case you're adrift in a lifeboat sort of a situation? How do you guys find water? Like there is plenty of water around you, but it's all salt water.
Yeah.
So do they teach you any basic survival skills that not many of us know about?
Yes, they do teach us basic survival skills. So basically what all you have to do when someone is if another man is overboard, so we first teach like how to keep a lookout. Like you have to keep looking at that person. You shouldn't come running inside telling that person went like you just scream. You just keep looking at that person, because in a second that person can go missing.
Okay, because there's like water everywhere and then you never know.
And in the ocean we are just very tiny creatures, like and there are like waves and everything. It's not easy to spot you. So, and there are so many things like the basic things like how to throw a line and life buoys. The smoke, there are like the what do you call it? The flares, like smoke flare and everything. So if you throw it, like there is like they float. They're buoyant.
Okay.
So they float in the water. So you throw that, so that person, we know that you can spot that person.
Right.
There are certain things you learn while you do.
So imagine I'm just bringing all my worst nightmares here, okay?
Okay.
So I'm hoping you'd give me a proper, like a nice, interesting answer for it.
Right.
What if, see, hypothetically, the boat capsizes and maybe you're alone.
Yeah.
Not you, maybe somebody else.
Okay.
X is
Yeah.
alone on a lifeboat. How many days can that person survive? And like there's all salt water around. Like how does one hydrate themselves when they're stranded in the middle of the ocean?
Okay. So let's say depends on where you are. If you're in cold water,
Okay.
you can survive only few hours because there's something called hypothermia.
That happens in the ocean?
Yes. So hypothermia is like in the cold water, you can freeze to death in like few hours. You hardly survive. But in tropicals and when the water is warm, then you can survive to, I think, 5 to 7 days max.
Okay.
Max.
Max.
In the ocean, like in land, normally I think it's 3 days.
Okay.
But in water, what I've read is 6 to 7 days.
Okay.
So if I'm not wrong.
Huh.
But that 7-day survival without food and everything, I never thought about it.
Okay.
Could be hard. And then for you to find a way out, you have to be very lucky
Okay.
to survive, and without anyone. Like if you have someone spot, because there are many people who
Who got rescued?
no,
Huh.
who lose their life at sea.
Okay.
Because they might never know that the person is in the water, then you'll never be found. So yeah, because at sea it's very hard to spot someone.
Right. Even though when they're in the lifeboat. Like,
No. I'm talking if you're capsizing and you have nothing.
oh, okay. Then.
Then
Okay,
like
right.
if you are like you're gonna sink, or someone saw you, or someone throw you a line or something, or that smoke flare or something, then there are good chances that you can get rescued.
Okay.
But if you have nothing, then it's very hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but what if you're in a lifeboat somehow?
Lifeboat, you can survive in the lifeboat. There are minimum supplies of things that you can survive, including seasickness tablets, water, food. Very limited. Like there is number of liters and amount of food you can eat and drink written.
Oh,
Like
there's a list of...
There is a list. So if it's a lifeboat for this many number of people, so for this many days, you can have this many liters of water and food, so that everyone can survive for these many days. So was it clear?
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
So if there are, say, around 15 people on the boat, then there is a lifeboat which can only fit in 15 people.
Yes.
And then there is supply exactly
so basically
for...
it's like the other way.
Okay.
You have to have, if there is a 15 people lifeboat, then you can only have 15 people on a ship.
Not one more extra also.
No.
Okay.
It's according to that the maritime law is made.
Okay.
So
and also even in the lifeboat also there are supplies only for 15 people.
Yes.
Exactly like minimum basic supplies for 15 people if they get stranded.
Yes.
Okay. Give me one survival skill that's really interesting or not many of us know about.
So when a ship is sinking or a boat is sinking, when there are a lot of people and what is cold, then you have an immersion suit which you'll wear.
Okay.
And you're in the water.
Right.
Then some certain things where people can notice us is like staying closer. Okay. We'll all stay in circles holding hands. We'll make a circle.
Okay.
So that people will know that single person at different places, it's very hard to spot.
Correct.
So that is one, like staying in one circle, like in a crowd, like that is one basic thing.
So if your boat has capsized and then you're in the ocean, in
We
the ocean
try
without a
to-
lifeboat, then you try to make a circle and stay in a cluster.
Yes.
How is sailing or how are female Navy officers, as you call them?
In merchant navy?
In merchant Navy?
Yeah.
How are they safe?
Yeah, but for women, I think it's getting much safer nowadays because there are many companies promoting women sailors, seafarers,
Okay.
and they do bring many laws and many things to make them safe and to make the environment safe. I think there are certain rules like they have to be accompanied by another lady to go to into a cabin, or like to make sure to make sure of the safety. They're bringing so many rules and regulations.
Okay.
That's one good part.
Okay.
And also, it's ship life. Whoever is planning to take it, it's not easy. They should know that there's a lot of manpower, a lot of physical and mental stress related to that. If you're prepared for that, then I would say like go for it.
Okay. Amrutha, tell me, what's the best part about sailing?
For me, the best part of sailing is cherishing or appreciating what you have got.
Okay.
What sailing has taught me is the best part of sailing.
Okay.
Sailing has taught me to rethink, or let's say, like gives you a flip side.
Right.
It's like it's a contrast, like from land, the land life and the sea life. It's like so different, but that's the beauty of it.
Right.
You realize how beautiful and how lucky you are to have all these. It's me the most after sailing is the greenery, the lush green, the forest, the wild, and you learn to live with bare minimum.
But I want to ask you one more question.
Yes, please.
How is the potty situation like on a boat?
Potty situation is fine actually. Our boat had good. You might have seen my story. Someone asked like, where did you poop for 19 days?
No, I didn't. Yeah, okay.
That was a question. I made it to our story and posted it.
Okay.
So we have toilets, like proper toilets.
Okay.
So
the ones where you use tissue, because again you'll have to dispose it off somewhere.
yeah. So but no, in oceans to a particular level we can give it to the ocean. It's okay.
Okay.
Since we are just 7 people and we are in deep waters, it's okay. But when there is huge secretions or huge waste disposal, we all make it once we reach the land. So we keep all the plastics and heavy food waste and all, we keep it and then give it to the land. But all the tiny, small stuffs, which the fishes can also eat, all the food waste and all, we throw it. Like we grind it and throw it.
But human excreta, what do you do?
Water. It goes in the ocean.
It goes into the ocean.
Yes.
Okay, that's still decomposable, so it's fine.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes, but no to plastics.
Okay. So on your sail from India to Africa, how was your sleeping arrangement on the yacht?
So, as I said, our yacht was comparatively bigger. We had 4 bedrooms, like proper. You have beds and everything, and also you had washrooms. So that was okay. But since you don't have ACs like on ships, it can get very hot, especially in the tropical areas. And we were in Africa or India. India is also very hot these days. So
These days, always.
but comparatively, people think Africa is so much hotter, but Djibouti was comparatively so much better than Kochi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somewhere north, but still that was much better. But on the way passage, when it gets too hot, we sleep on the, like there's a deck. We call it deck, like the areas where we can helm, all these places are decks.
Okay.
Where we can be. So in the ship we call bridge and everything. Bridge is like where we keep watches.
Okay.
People stand there and look out for other ships and everything. So in boats also we have some place where we can, on top where there are beds and cushions. Okay. So we take our blankets and everything, because it's either like two extremes, too hot inside, and too breezy on top. Okay. So when you are on sails, the wind is towards us, right? So it's too breezy, then you can't just sleep like that. You'll dehydrate or you'll get dehydrated. You can also get, very tired when you wake up. So we take all the blanket, cover everything, and then sleep on the top. Okay. So that's a sleeping arrangement which we usually do.
I keep, my bedtime stories are these bizarre things that happen in the ocean, or, experiences from different people when they share. So do you have any of those like bizarre stories which sound too
scary
or too strange in a way, or you might have heard of some?
Oh, a lot. I think ship life and boat life are quite famous for such stories. Okay. The stories circulate. We don't trust all the stories, but there are stories like, to scare you. Yeah. Because as I said, we have a lot of time to talk. So we share friends of friends stories, or like I have heard this story. Such stories like we have heard a lot.
What is that one such bizarre story?
Like, most of them are like someone dying and the ghost attacks.
Oh, okay. Oh, someone
like,
dying and then they turn into a ghost.
So many silly stories are there. Scariest was during Corona time when the captain passed away on board. That was the scariest one. During that time, he didn't tell me the story at that point because he had close contact with the captain, and we didn't know, like, you know, he didn't know if he had corona or not.
Right.
What if I get to know and then
you'll panic?
Everyone would panic. The whole family would panic. So he didn't tell until and unless the body. They had a huge problem to take the, like, none of the countries were accepting the body during corona time. Many seafarers have faced this. Who had died on board. I've also heard stories about another person who died in the same company. Another person died, and they had to store. I think they were in China, and the country didn't accept the body. So I'm not sure if I'm not wrong. So they were in some country and they didn't accept the body. So they had to keep the person in the freezer, like the deep freezer, along with the other fish and meat and everything.
What?
And they had a body in their boat, in the ship, and they had to sail all the way to India to dispose the body. And I can't imagine how bad the whole ship's atmosphere would have been during that time. I mean, I can't imagine.
Carrying a dead body in the freezer where you place all the fish and meat and everything, other foods, and then putting the dead body in the same.
Let me tell you, when we were going to Africa, in that particular seaport, like we say, like airport, when we are joining not on the flight, but we are entering a country through a ship or a boat, we get a stamp from seaport.
Okay.
So over there, that country was offering a visa on arrival.
Okay.
So we didn't have to take a visa.
Okay.
But it was clear from that end. But in India, when we went to the immigration, they said it's not listed in our website. Then we even got letters and everything from the Djibouti, that country's immigration department and everything, but still they were not letting us, like, no, it's not listed here, we can't help. And you can't sail as a passenger, is what they said.
Oh, okay.
It's like, because it's a yacht, we got no rules for yachts.
Right.
And also it takes a longer period for a yacht, even if we are not sailing, even for other sailors. In Kochi, there are so many yachts coming, so many Europeans coming on yachts and then sailing out. For them, the immigration clearance, all the paperwork are like pretty long. I wish through my story, like, I want to bring more light to the sailing community, and the government take some action so that things get easier. People can learn sailing and sail out and sail in and out of India much faster with the process getting easier. Like in airport now, it's like, you know, get the stamp and you can just move out.
Right.
I think
just to make it make international waters more less intimidating for Indians to cross over. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, we would like to have more foreigners coming to India. They don't come to India because of these paperworks. There's still a lot of paperworks. A long process to enter, exit, and all those things. In some countries, it's just everything online. Okay. You just fill all the details, done.
Yeah.
It's very faster, much faster.
Okay.
So, if they can make it easier for sailing community in India, I'm sure there'll be a lot of yachts. The people circumnavigating will touch India and then go. Now, most of them are going to Maldives and then going.
Okay.
They don't come to India much.
Because of all the paperwork again.
Yes. Okay. The process is longer.
Yeah. So, and hence you can also circumnavigate the whole world. Do you have that in your list?
Let's see.
That's so nice.
No, we never know where life takes us. Like, we're just going with our flow. So, yeah. following our hearts, yeah.
No, but I think through this podcast, I would really like all the women out there who are really interested in who love water, and I think sailing is something that they should take up. And
anything, I would say.
Through this podcast, it's just bringing out that awareness about there's a sailing community in India as well, because that itself I don't think many are aware of. So I hope this podcast really helps a lot of people out there through your information and through your stories, not the scary ones, of course. See, all these things happen in every walk of life.
Everywhere. Even on road you walk, there's some accidents, so many news about accidents and deaths and everything.
Yeah.
So it's there everywhere.
Yeah. So this shouldn't be a reason that is stopping you. That is stopping anyone.
Yes.
So, but thank you, Amrutha, for spending so much time sitting through all this lights and everything and so much of sweat. I can see we are in the middle of summer and then it's really hot out here.
First of all, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I'm not used to all this facing camera and mics, but now I'm comfortable, I guess.
Okay, I'm happy.
The message which I would like to give to whoever is watching this is like, to dream big. Like it's possible to achieve anything. It's like you have to dream, and actually not just dream, work for it. Like if you really work and if you really love what you are doing, you will eventually reach there.
Right.
Like we never knew how we would end up. Like we never knew even if we dreamt of sailing, we could make it. We found our way. We constantly kept working to get our licenses, to find way out, to find the right boat to sail with, because we never know who we're going to sail with.
Right.
So to find the right opportunity, we kept working for it. So if you really work for your dream, then I think it's easy to achieve. Reduce single-use plastic, because in these days we cannot say don't use plastic. It's very hard. Plastic has become part of our life. It's there everywhere. What I have done is I've stopped ordering food online.
Okay.
So the amount of plastic they bring for the gravy, you have one bottle, then if you have papa, then you have plastic wrapped in it, then you have one box of plastic and then have sellotape around it. So it's all plastic. So when you sail in the middle of the ocean, you are like 4 kilometers down, you have ocean. And on the top you see tiny plastic bottles, drums, cans. I don't know from where.
In the middle of the ocean?
In the middle of the ocean, like so many miles away from the land, you still see the bottles floating. And we know we are responsible for that one bottle.
Yeah.
So we see that and we can't even reach there and take it.
Okay.
That's the saddest thing, I would say.
Okay. Yeah. You can't reach for the bottle also in the middle of the ocean, even if you see it.
Yes, it'll be just floating, and we never know. When you see so many pictures of the aquatic life stuck inside, like, seal inside a plastic bottle, like its head or hand stuck, a tortoise head stuck, whatever. Those are very sad to watch.
True.
And it's going to be there forever. We never know. It's never going to decompose.
Yeah.
I would also suggest it's okay to
Repeat clothes.
Repeat, I would say.
Yeah.
Like start one style and just keep wearing that. It's okay. That'll be great. That's the story, I think.
No, but I mean, your story has been really inspiring, and actually kudos to your husband for, taking you on that, big journey. As you said, sailing is not easy. He could have done it on his own, but then, you guys chose to do it together.
Yeah.
And then, that's the beauty of it all.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure you're going to create a lot of memories together.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you're doing this and, inspiring a lot of women out there to take a few risks in life, if not sailing, some other thing that they align to.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm so happy, Amrutha, that you've come all the way from Kannur to Hyderabad for the podcast. And I wish you much more success and much more happiness and much more greater memories on your endeavor. Next time we meet, I hope you have many more stories to tell.
Thank you so much. I think I should also thank my parents.
Yeah.
So I got married late, but even before that, they've always inspired me to, take up what I love. They've never stopped me. Right. My dad and mom, they never stopped me. They're always worried. They ask me, like, do you really want to do it?
Okay.
I mean, can you just stop doing it? They've asked me, of course.
Right.
They're worried about my life and,
I know.
My health and everything.
Yeah.
So, but they've never stopped me.
Okay.
They always supported me. Like, if you really want to do it, then I think you should do it, is what they said. And my husband, as I said.
Yeah.
these people play a very strong role in my life.
That's so nice. That's so nice. Thank you so much for being here. And next time I come to Kannur, you're taking me around and then you're showing me around the sailing and everything.
But there's no sailing in Kannur. I wish, I'll bring some.
We can meet at a spot where there is sailing.
But you can swim.
Yeah, we can swim. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yes,
Thank you.
definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes.